to In the Zone, brought to you by US Construction Zone, bringing you strategies for success with construction innovators and change makers, including In the Zone peer-nominated national award winners. Here are your hosts, Jeremy and Valerie Owens.
Hello, and welcome to our first podcast for US Construction Zone. My name is Valerie Owens, and I'm thrilled to introduce my husband, Jeremy Owens.
Thank you so much. Welcome, viewers, listeners. We appreciate you tuning in to In the Zone podcast. Our goal today is just to kind of introduce the platform a little bit, talk about who we're looking for on this podcast, and hopefully share our hearts. A couple of things we want to get out of the way right away is that this booth is 95 degrees, so usually not this way. So this is like a legit podcast studio, and I'm used to a little bit more AC. So that, number one. Number two, I'm going to do my best to spit the marbles out of my mouth and communicate from my heart. Give me a little bit of grace. She's got the TV voice and looks, and I have the radio looks and voice. Well, maybe not the voice. Anyways, I wanted to start with a little bit of knowledge on US Construction Zone. We want to share a video with you real quick, but to start, US Construction Zone is a social network for the construction industry professionals. So we're looking for executives, CEOs, managers, those type of people we really believe belong on the platform. So we would like to share the video first so that you kind of get an idea of what it is, and then we'll get into the rest of the podcast.
The time is now for a new, better way to share ideas, stay up to date, and form compelling, lasting, powerful relationships with an online community created for the construction industry. US Construction Zone might just provide you with a path to change your business in very positive ways. Connect, collaborate, construct with US Construction Zone. If you're a business owner, CEO, general manager, US Construction Zone is a place for you and others who lead our industry. People with like minds, common goals, and helpful spirits. If that describes you or someone you know, we need you. Join us in connecting construction professionals to create a purpose-driven industry and a powerful and positive online community. In 2020, we all realized that we need relationships, not just to thrive, but literally survive. The way we communicated changed in many ways forever. When business leaders could no longer go to conferences, many of them missed the compelling exchange of ideas, the tremendous value of both learning and teaching others. What kind of community do you want to belong to? Now more than ever, we need to customize our community and content by bringing together positive and uplifting people in the construction industry. US Construction Zone was born out of the desire for collaboration in this new world. The founder, Jeremy Owens of 3 Generations Improvements in California, has been a very successful leader in a 3-generation family business. Jeremy was selected for 40 Under 40 honors in 2017. 3 Generations is both a remodeling Big 50 and 550 company with decades of growth and incredible customer reviews. Jeremy is one of those guys who knows his numbers and just loves building and refining his business. He understands the tremendous value of having a social media platform and online community of forward-thinking, positive professionals who also want to learn, share, and grow. And the place to do that now is US Construction Zone. Think about the power of being able to connect anytime with others and talk about things such as the labor shortage, the skyrocketing costs of materials, HR, organizational growth, marketing, succession plan challenges, you name it, without having to wait for that annual convention. You simply log on to US Construction Zone and begin the flow of ideas. The results could be just awesome. US Construction Zone, join us. Sign up at usconstructionzone.com. Connect, collaborate, construct with US Construction Zone. The time is now.
I love that video. I think it gets me pumped up. I don't know about you. I wish my face and my voice could describe how excited I am for this network and for this platform. But I love the way the video turned out. So we wanted to start with that and share that, and really get into this next part, which is just who we are and what we're about. So yeah. I'll get started there. I'm Jeremy Owens, just like the video said. I own a business in Folsom, California called 3 Generations Improvements. We're a very proud family business. I am the 3rd generation. I come from my grandpa, my father, both in the construction industry, and then myself. We formed a business back about 15 years ago. And we just loved our experience there. We have a great family business. And really, this kind of idea kind of formed at a conference, basically with other peers in my industry, where we were all at a round table and we were talking about the problems of the day, which happened to be the labor shortage, and we still have the same problem today. This was back almost 4 years ago, and we left exchanging numbers, and we left saying, I wish there was a better way to stay in touch, because I think we both knew that we weren't gonna call each other, with a question. We just kind of saw the writing on the wall. So that's what planted the seed. And that was 4 years ago. And that's how long an idea takes to bring to fruition all the way to here. So I'm super pumped to be here. That's who I am. And I wanted to introduce my wife, Valerie. And I wanted first, before I introduce her, describe to you why I invited her on my podcast. She kicked and screamed a little, but I wanted someone. She's been a part of our 3 Generations business since the beginning, but she's also been in other industries. She's been a pro in real estate. She's been a pro teacher. She's award-winning in everything she does. And so I thought, who better to have a unique perspective on the challenges that we have, some insights that I would never come up with myself. So I thought she would be a good yin to my yang, or yang to my yin. Don't know how that saying goes. Forgive me. So with that being said, Val, please introduce yourself in a little bit.
All right. I would love to. And so the way my brain works, and that you will see, is that I tend to have about 100 ideas going on in my mind at a time. And I really have to compartmentalize them. And so that I don't tend to just talk, because this could go on for hours. And we're not going to do that. So I'm going to stay focused, but I'm going to jump back real quick before I introduce myself and go through my bio. I want to talk a little bit about the video, and how, you had mentioned that the idea came up when you were at a convention yourself.
Yeah.
I think conventions are fantastic. I go to conventions myself. I've gone for real estate, nonprofits, for education, so many different areas that I have been in my life, and have gone to different conventions, learned a ton. But I think the drawback to conventions is that you're so excited for about 3 days straight. You're immersed in this world of wherever you're at and learning and connecting with people in your industry and growing. And you have all these commitments you make, and then you get home. And then it stops.
Life.
Right. Life happens. Work happens mostly, I think, for a lot of people in your industry. There's so many things that drag us in different directions. And what happens, and I think the saddest part of what happens, is that the excitement wears off almost immediately.
Yeah.
So US Construction Zone, I think, where one of the things I'm really excited about is that where there is a place for conventions, and I think they are also essential. I think face-to-face, there's, no question asked that it's necessary.
Can't replace the skin touch, no way.
Right. But I think the exciting part about it is that we can have a place that is accessible and easy for people to come to in the industry, share ideas, have resources at your fingertips, where it's, like I said, easily accessible. The excitement is there. The inspirational stories are there. The ways we can reach out beyond just the construction industry into some humanitarian efforts are there. And to have that excitement be able to be a part of our daily lives thrills me to no end, because I think that that's really what we're missing.
Yes.
And, a lot of people say, well, the construction industry, really, do I need to be that excited about it? But to me, when I look at it, I think every industry, I look at it as, has it been tapped or untapped? And I see education. There's many areas where there's growth and so many different ideas and theories. With construction, I would venture to say that you don't have as many people really reaching outside of their own businesses.
No,
would you agree?
More prideful people that we get busy, get our head down, and just do our work. And before you know it, 5 years passes by.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a huge demographic of brilliant minds in the construction industry that I think really have ideas to share and ways that they can reach out beyond their businesses into, like I said, humanitarian efforts and really make a massive impact in our society and in our world.
Absolutely.
So it's exciting.
See why I invited you.
So
I'll just
no. So my bio, I'll keep it short and sweet, but really it's that I, as you probably notice, my mind does not stop working. And so I'm constantly in this state of curiosity. I'm constantly excited about how can I learn more about that or that person or that industry or their passion, what makes them tick. And I want to dig deep. I have worked in nonprofit industry for a long time. I have an absolute passion for finding a cure for type 1 diabetes, having lived with it myself for over 20 years. But again, that doesn't stop there. The passion for the nonprofit industry and philanthropy. I mean, there's so many different areas. Jeremy and I are both part of a board called Folsom's Hope, and we'll talk more about that in podcasts to come, but excited to share that with you. I've worked in real estate. I have my absolute passion is in education and teaching. And so, I have a wealth of knowledge in many different areas. I'm a perfectionist in many ways, but what I find and what I pride myself on is that I never want to stop learning. And I think that there's, life is short and, but let's keep it fun. And, there's so many things to learn. And so I'm thrilled to jump into this new arena with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's a great intro. I'd be remiss not to mention a couple people that have been instrumental in our team and kind of to this point so far. First of all, my dad, Kurt Owens, who is my father, and he's been my mentor, and he's holding the fort down for 3 generations improvements. Logan Smith, my best friend, who's also my right-hand man. He's basically whatever I need, he does, and he does it great. And so he's been instrumental in not only my success with 3G, but our vision for this platform. And then we were fortunate enough to meet a great mentor of mine, Mac Lochran, and he is in the startup community. He's a consultant of mine, and he has been instrumental in our success. And this is his podcast booth. We wouldn't be here without him. So I really appreciate all of those people that had a huge impact on where we are today. So I wanted to make sure I didn't, forget that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. I think that one of the most important things to remember in any sort of construction, whether it's the business itself or in startups, is to remember the people who've helped you along the way. So I agree. Yes. Those people are some pretty amazing people in our corner. So Jeremy and I we went through some ideas for an open letter, something where we wanted to show our hearts first and foremost as we begin this endeavor, and to get that passion put into language, which is hard to do sometimes. You find yourself using a lot of buzzwords and, very thrilled language. However, hopefully this will help introduce where you're coming from.
I have to read this. So before I read it, my heart, I explained it to Valerie, and she put it down on paper. And so she wrote it very eloquently. I don't know if I can storytell it as eloquently as it's written. So I do want you to go on and log on and read it yourself to really let it sink in, because I'm not going to do it justice. When I was practicing reading this to her, she's like, read it more like a story. I'm not a school teacher. Like, that's not, I can read. Okay. I can read. I'm going to prove that to you guys right now, but I can't storytell and read at the same time. So I haven't learned that skill. Never will. But I hope you guys can see both of our hearts in this. So here it goes. From childhood, I was raised with a deep appreciation for the construction industry, as well as an admirer of the outdoors, a believer in hard work, and with the mindset of an entrepreneur. I have always believed that where there is commitment to change for the better, passion for making a difference, and trust in the power of a collective effort for our industry, we will succeed. Please allow me to introduce U.S. Construction Zone. Before I continue, we also call it USCZ, so if you hear that. U.S. Construction Zone is a digital networking platform that is designed for business management, entrepreneurs, decision makers, executives, leaders in the industry, and all those who aim to improve the field of construction. By offering a platform where pertinent information is carefully curated and available, expert knowledge and innovative ideas are shared, and networking with those in specific and broad areas of the construction industry offers value, USCZ aims to greatly enhance the construction industry as we know it. USCZ is ideal for opening doors for larger industry growth, collective humanitarian efforts, and utilizing technology in a way that moves us into the future where we are more closely connected by our common works in spite of our distance. U.S. Construction Zone is a product and vision for what our industry can become if we make the choice to work together for advancement of not only our own businesses, but for the industry as a whole. Over the past 3 years, thoughtful analysis and guidance from industry experts has been gathered to maximize the value of USCZ. We knew that with improvements in technology, the opportunity for collaboration across our nation was at its best, and as visionaries, it was crucial that we take the next step to build a platform that allowed for growth for all businesses on our field. U.S. Construction Zone offers leaders in our industry a digital landing zone where influential professionals can offer and ask for advice, share experiences that will eliminate the need to reinvent the wheel, encourage one another with helpful recommendations and information, promote career opportunities, and accept the challenge to grow better businesses and give back to the community. It is time for leaders in the industry to face challenges together and benefit from gaining valuable insight from the brightest minds in construction. A vision can only go so far as those willing to put in the effort into making it a reality. We need you to help build our online community together. Real people, real businesses, a real digital platform constructed by the industry for the industry. We are also seeking valuable strategic and diverse partnerships, as well as charity organizations, to be part of this community so that we all have the tools and resources available to create the compelling transformation that this industry needs. While I have 3 generations to guide me in this process, I cannot rely on my experience alone. I will lean on my fellow peers for guidance, direction, and support as together we customize U.S. Construction Zone. With the website in place, tools can and will be added to ensure that we leave this industry better than we found it. Please join me as we make the commitment to connect, collaborate, and construct a stronger, more sustainable, and giving industry.
Love it. Good job, Jeremy.
I can read.
You made it.
You did it. Thank you.
So if people want to go back and read it themselves, where would they go?
Yeah, it's going to be on our About Us page. So it'll be talking a little bit about our team, but it'll get into this open letter and then our visions, our values. So we really want you to read it for yourself and see if this is where you belong. If those things resonate with you, if some of those buzzwords resonate with you, then we want you to be a part of it. And we wanted the open letter to be, if this describes you, then you're welcome. And if it doesn't describe you and you want to be there, you're welcome too.
Yeah.
So hopefully it rang true.
Mm-hmm. So as Jeremy and I have been talking and discussing, who would be fantastic guests to have on the podcast? There are some obvious choices. However, we want to go past obvious. We want to really look and find people who have something to say that potentially have never had the opportunity to say it or the platform to say it. So that's what a lot of the podcasts will be. Who would you say are the types of people that we're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. We've scoured the internet and we have some great podcasts coming up. We have some great interviews coming up. But really the type of people we're looking for, I mean, in the intro, it talks about change makers and innovators. And yes, that is who we're looking for. But really it's the heart. Who are those people who are giving in industry? Who are those people who are building for a nonprofit without asking for any publicity? Who are those people who are innovating to make their lives and the lives of their employees better? These are people that are hard to find. So we really we would need to rely on our peers to reach out and say, hey, you need to talk to this guy. You need to talk to this girl. You need to talk to this company because they're doing great things and no one knows about it because they're doing it for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. So I would say that's who we're after. Finding them is harder, but there's so many great people in this industry and they're so giving. And I want to highlight those people more than they maybe want to be highlighted.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I completely agree with you. I think that there are the people who tend to, through contacts or whatever the situation may be, end up being people that would be asked to be speakers at conventions or conferences. Mm-hmm. But there are also people that you're going to meet, like you said, at your lunch table that you're going to have a conversation with and be so inspired by once you learn their story. Mm-hmm. So, those people that may not be in the headlines or may not be known, but gosh darn it, they deserve to be known and we want to get to know them.
Yeah, they need to be known. And I think that they can inspire us better than we can. And that's who we want to be part of the platform. And we want them to share their successes, how they did it, why they did it. And hopefully they become like the rest of us, like we just do what they do. So they're our example. So I know, if you're listening, I know, you can think of somebody. If you can, just email us at inthezone@usconstructionzone.com. And we'd like to talk to them.
Yeah. I think like we had mentioned earlier in the podcast, there's a lot of people who are doing some amazing things that are, might just be doing them in their business alone, but that, thousands of others could benefit from knowing certain processes that they're using that have really made their job easier or made the lives of those around them better.
Absolutely. So, there are thousands of them out there, and by golly, we will find them.
Yes. It's our mission.
And said by golly.
So Jeremy, just real quick, I want to throw this out there. So we've had I shouldn't say one of the most insane. It has just been absolutely an insane year and a half. It's impacted every single human's life with COVID and the lockdowns and just a lot of upheaval and uncertainty. What have you seen or how has the impact been on the construction industry? And I would even go so far as to say, not just in this past year and a half, but before that too. You've been in the construction industry since you were a baby, really. Yeah. I mean, with your parents. So what changes have you seen, positive, negative?
I'll start with the negative so I can end it with the positive. Okay. I think the messaging of the labor force and the labor shortage has been very short-sighted by America. This is well chronicled. I don't need to describe it. I think if you want to know more about it, then listen to Mike Rowe. He talks about it eloquently in terms of how the messaging about every kid needs to go to college and that the trades are a lesser industry to be in and maybe not to be proud of. That has bugged me since I was a kid. I still went to college. I got a degree, but I'm way more proud of my accomplishments in construction than I am of that piece of paper. And I think that messaging has failed a lot of people. And I think it's just now starting to gain steam and like, hey, this is a big problem. And now the messaging is changing. And so I think that's been the negative. I think the positive, especially in terms of COVID and a global pandemic, is that the need for connection is highlighted. And now there's a big spotlight on it because, we've been alone, we've been locked down, we've been just with our inner teams. We haven't been able to network. We haven't been able to go to that conference, rub shoulders with the best people, get those ideas. Now we all want to get back to it, and we should. And so that's what this is all about, is like that power network. And I don't need to do this. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. Somebody's done it better than I can do it. So why not I just ask?
Right. I think the power of bringing all these brilliant minds together and going from there and not focusing on what can I do? How can I work myself so thin that I can barely see straight, and really getting back into that mindset of collaborating together with some of the sharpest minds in the industry. And from there, seeing where and how big we can grow as far as reaching others and impacting our world.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. I think that the sky's the limit for the quality of people, and we just need to find them and point them in this direction. And hopefully they enter the network and share and explore. And like I said, just be part of that change that we really need in this industry.
I agree. So before we kind of get into our final stages of the podcast, I want you to share with the listeners and viewers, if they're curious or they kind of, some of their interest is piqued in, easy to listen to a podcast on your way to a job, or what can they do? Where can they sign up? Why would they sign up? What is the advantage? Can you share a little bit about what the next steps would be?
I'll give you a peek behind the curtain if that's what you're asking. Yeah. So yes, we are hoping to launch September 1st. And right now, this whole month of August, we're going to be hitting the pavement. We're going to be emailing, we're going to be contacting folks that we think are going to be influencers and people who need to be a part of this community. And we're going to try to reward them for referring to their peers. So we're going to have a referral program that is going to be geared to, sharing this platform with others. If you do that and do that well, we're going to reward you for it. You might end up in this podcast with us. You might end up in a blog post. You might end up in a national press release. There's all sorts of things that we want to do to reward you for doing that. But also, we want you to see the email. We want you to see the message that you're going to get from us and want to share it and want to say like, hey, Jerry and Betty Sue need to be a part of this platform. And I want to be talking with them all year long. So why not share that? Why be there alone? It's not going to be any fun if I'm there alone. It's me and you. We have to all be there together. So the idea is that you see the message and you say, okay, I have 10 people right now that I have to share it with. And those 10 people have 10 people. That's how this is going to work. We're bootstrapping this thing. We're a small business. We're not trying to be big guys. We're just trying to create a platform for us. That is it.
And the website they would go to would be
usconstructionzone.com. There will be either a wait list or that contest sign up right on the homepage. Start there, and we will keep feeding you the information in terms of like when the launch is. And so that's the best place to go to.
Yes. And we also have our contact information on there. You will not be connected to, some obscure robot. It will reach us. So if you have questions or, anything that came up in your mind, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, please do. I think sharing, we're looking for ideas. We're looking for, I think this belongs here. We're looking for, I think this person belongs in your podcast. We don't have it figured out, but you guys do collectively. So let's collectively do this thing.
All right. I had fun. That was fun. So we're going to finish off with just something that's really fun. I've always, you're going to get to know Jeremy really well. He's hilarious.
Not really.
He's very funny. And hopefully, this will just give you a little more, just like some fun insight into us and then future podcasts. Whereas our podcast is called In the Zone, this is our segment called Zone Out. So we're going to ask 3 quick questions, and you can elaborate, not elaborate, whatever you want to do.
You got
it. All right. So we're going to start with Jeremy. Jeremy, question number 1.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Unfortunately, I wanted to be an NBA basketball player, and I just didn't grow. I didn't grow till I was in college for whatever reason. So I was a 5'0", semi-talented basketball player, and I realized quickly in high school that maybe I should be an announcer or or something else in sports. So I always love sports, still love it today, love coaching and all that. But my first job I wanted to be was an NBA basketball player.
Oh, sorry that didn't work out for you. All right, number 2, you have your own late night talk show. Who would you invite as your first guest? Totally open-ended, alive or not?
Because I've been immersed in this startup and been immersed in this platform, and there's this activity you do, and the activity is, who is the person that comes to mind when you think of this platform? And every single time it's Mike Rowe. Okay. A little bit of a man crush. Agreed. But it's a huge respect factor. And whether he knows it or not, I think he knows it now. He is a leader of the construction industry. He has a voice. He has the reason. He has the knowledge. He's insightful. He can speak in front of a camera. He can do, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
All those things he's just engaging. So I would, because I'm immersed in this, I would say Mike Rowe, and then I'd make him sign up for this construction.
Number 3, who is the most influential person in your life? Who is or who has been?
Oh, I would have to say my father, Kurt Owens, because he's been in the construction industry since I was a kid. I remember going out with him on sales calls when I was 5 years old, and I went all the way through my entire life. Actually, I kept going on sales calls. And so I learned a lot about hard work, integrity, what commitment to your family looks like, and what pride in the construction industry looks like. And I never wanted to turn back. I tried other things, and I just went right back to him in this business. And so I would say that Papa Kurt.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
So the reverse of that, for you, we'll start with you zoning out with Valerie Owens. Okay, so the first question, as a child, what did you want to be, or who did you want to be when you grew up?
Probably my first and only answer is a mom. I wanted to be a teacher, but that came when I knew that, there was actually a thing called a job and all that. But a mom, I wanted to be a mom from day one, as far back as I can remember. And I am a mom. We have 3 incredible kids, and they're the light of our lives. And if it was the only dream I ever got to achieve, it would be enough. It would be more than enough.
Dang, that's a better answer than mine.
No, a little less selfish.
I wanted to be a basketball player.
No.
Okay. So number 2, you have your own late night talk show.
Mm.
Who do you have as your first guest? Anybody?
Okay. Well, so I'll make it quick. Conan O'Brien, for sure. I love funny people.
Amazing.
I love all people, but I love funny people. And he is, he's not only funny, but he's wise and brilliant. And gosh, I could listen to him endlessly. I just really love him.
Agreed. Okay. Good answer. All right. The third one, who is the most influential person in your life?
Okay. So absolutely cliche, but also absolutely honest, my mom and dad. And it's the cliche reason is because I adore them and love them, and they love me. The non-cliche answer is that I think I love them most because they are completely imperfect. And I've really realized this as I've gotten older and become an adult. And I think there is beauty in experiencing and accepting someone and people, especially our parents, just as they are, mistakes and all, inability to go back and change things no matter how much we want to. And they continue to grow. They're both in their 70s now. But I think what I just appreciate so much in them, and I see in myself and you and so many people in our world, is that we just have this devotion to our children, and it doesn't matter how old they become. They're always ours, and they want what's best for us, and they take absolute pride, not personal pride, but just this almost an extrinsic joy in watching us be who we were designed to be. And so they have influenced me a lot in just that they accept me as I am.
Boy, that's a good answer. Dang it. Can I redo mine? Can we start over?
No.
Yes, shout out to Fred and Karen. Great people. So thank you for listening. I want to end with a couple things. As we mentioned earlier, please visit usconstructionzone.com for more information. Stay up to date. Join the waitlist. Join the referral program. Share it. Reach out to us. We're open. Like I said, we're a small business. We'll pick up the phone. We'll answer emails. We want this to be the construction industry's platform. It really has nothing to do about us. We're just creating the vehicle, and we're going to just plug in what you guys want. So with that being said, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
No, just thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And thanks for being on this path with us as USCZ grows, as we continue to reach out and reach more people.
Yes. Yep. Can't wait to see where this goes, but you will be impressed with some of the guests we have coming up. So looking forward to talking with you more. Bye, and thank you.
Bye.
You've been listening to In the Zone with Jeremy and Valerie Owens. Be sure to subscribe to In the Zone and stay in the know with the best minds in the construction industry. To nominate an innovator or change maker in the construction industry, connect with your management peers, and stay up to date with construction industry news, be sure to visit usconstructionzone.com.